reacting to those sunlight, so he'd realized I was blind, and so they took me to doctors, and then they decided I should go to Boston maybe, and maybe I should stay in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Anyway, I stayed in Sydney, Nova Scotia. I had several, like 5 operations with, I don't know what needling was, but some sort of needling to break up the cataracts. But in that point, I had, with the cataracts, I was born with congenital cataracts. I had nystagmus as well, because nystagmus is only related to the cataract, and that when my eye was developing, my brain wasn't getting messages, and my eye started, the nervous system started to, my eye started to twitch. You'd have to do more research into nystagmus because, it's a interesting subject. And as you get older, I just found out recently, as you get older, your nystagmus decreases. Some low vision doctor told me that it decreases as you get older. Maybe she thinks that the brain probably gets used to being the fact that, I don't see, and it becomes less pronounced. But I still have nystagmus. And my vision at that time was probably about 20/200 with all these operations. And I had glasses to deal with. And I went away to boarding school. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with lots of things. And I had to deal with the fact that there's 3 phases to my sight. And that the first thing is I can walk, my walking vision. And I use these glasses for walking vision. But then I have a pair of glasses that I use for reading. And it's a bubble, and you have to go around and like Dory. I went to the Vision Institute to get a new bubble, I think, for my glasses.
Yeah.
Because when I was 14 years old, they developed these, and this is the latest one because Dorina announced to me a few years ago that they were no longer doing the bubble.
Yeah.
And so somebody had to go all over the world and get these glasses for me. They had to go all over the world to look for them. They found them in England. Because there's nobody making them anymore. There's no need for them, apparently. There's not a need. So that's the situation.
All right, so growing up and being in school and trying to make a living among the able seers and people that had good sight, how were you perceived? What was it like?
It was awful. I was shameful because I didn't want to show my eyesight to people, especially in sighted school. At one point, from the blind school, you went to a sighted school for grade 11 and 12. And for grade 11 and 12, I had to sit with these students, and I'd have to hold a monocular or magnifier in my hand to look at the board. And there was no teacher aids or anything like that. You'd go home and make the notes and then start, before you could even study the subject, you'd have to borrow somebody's notes that they took from the board and try and get all that down before you even commence the homework. So that's the situation.
So in all, you managed to do education to the degree that you were employed to do something also very important for opticians. You were working for social services.
I was working for the Ministry of Labor.
Ministry of Labor.
Mm-hmm.
And did you understand how people in situations that are similar could get benefits from the opticians being fitted with glasses, and then in turn they can claim the benefit from the government? Can you tell us about that? How's that working?
So, ADP, the Vision Institute, I would only go to places that had ADP,
Assisted
Devices Program from the Ministry of Health. And not all provinces have that. I have to tell you, it's only Ontario, I think Quebec. I think Ontario and Quebec are the only provinces that have that program. The rest of the provinces don't have it. So you have to essentially be quite rich in order to handle paying for the optics. It costs money.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's a problem. So you have to deal with the ADP. You have to deal with your site. You got to deal with your school. It's a heck of it's a big business. One that I don't really think I'd ever want to go through again. But I did it.
So did you, if you had, in an ideal world, what would you be if you had your sight like everybody else?
What would I be?
Yeah.
In an occupation?
Yes.
I don't know. I think I'd probably be in finance.
In finance?
Yes, I think so. I'd probably work in a bank. I think so. I help now people like I'm doing people's income tax returns, especially people I know they really can't afford to get, help or whatever, so I help them with their income tax.
But I have to tell you for your information, some of the greatest achievement that I know about Susan. So first of all, she has a daughter. So tell us, how did you raise your daughter? Did you have a nanny with you or?
I wish I did. I had, so I have, my husband and I have a daughter, her name is Daniela, and my husband's totally blind, and I could see a little bit. So we had this child, and I knew I had to go back to work. I knew there was no way. I had to decide that in my retirement years, I would not have any money if I quit to look after her. I was 36 years old. I also knew that at 36, I was going to be 41 times she went to grade 1, and I would, or she's in school. I would have to find another job. I had a government job. I decided that it was worth it to pay for daycare, half of my salary for 5 years in order to keep that job so that we could live now. So I did it. And that was difficult. And I had Wheel-Trans helping me get her to and from daycare because we had no car. Taxis were expensive and difficult to get them. But anyway, somebody at the Wheel-Trans at TTC followed me from the subway because I would take her to daycare, drop her off in Wheel-Trans, and then I would get a ride with another mother would wait for me and walk me and drive me close enough so I could walk to the subway. But the Wheel-Trans followed me and they took me off Wheel-Trans, so I had to do everything by taxi.
So Susan, when you're in front of a crossing of a road, what helps you? Like how?
Well, I listen and I hear, and my sight, my distance, probably if I were fully sighted, I would probably be have what do you call it, long vision, like farsightedness.
Yes.
I would be farsighted.
Yes,
definitely.
And is anybody in your family with a similar situation?
Yes,
or?
yes.
Oh.
I have a brother who lives in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and he has a similar vision to me. I think I see better than he does. His is about a plus 11, I think. His vision, his prescription's bigger than mine. And also he didn't have the ADP program because he lives in Sydney. So he doesn't have that, the gadgets that I have.
So you see a lack of awareness of things that are around that could help a person with difficult vision, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So education in knowing what's around and what's available is key.
Yeah, especially when you're partially sighted. You can go into a grocery store and I'll say, well, I'm looking for Bob's Red Mill, maybe all-purpose flour. And they say, it's over there. And right away because they're looking at you, they think you see. I say, but I don't really see. Well, it's still over. It takes me 3 times. Last week that actually happened to me in Loblaws. It took me 3 times to get to this place where I needed to be to pick up the product. People are just not aware.
So I'm going to pause now for my class to see if they have any questions so far about the disease, about the situation, and about growing up having congenital cataract extraction, and nystagmus. You guys have any questions? Anybody? Yes, please.
I was wondering what types of tools make your life easier?
What types of what?
Tools. Like your everyday life.
Susan, what makes your life easier in terms of whatever you can have?
ChatGPT.
I know what you like. I know when Daniela grew up and got her driver's license.
Yeah.
You got a car.
Yeah. I got a car for
So if
that was not a good thing, Dorina. No. As a parent, I wouldn't do that today. And I wouldn't recommend it.
But then she did it. She
Yeah,
was a driver.
Yeah. She's a good driver from 16, but no. Yeah. That's
So
not a
if
good
you
thing.
had a chance to drive a car, what car would you drive, Susan?
Right now, a Tesla.
Tesla.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the gas station. There are other problems with that too, though, you can have electricity, pay the bill for that, so I don't know, I think I'd have one. In a perfect world, I'd have that maybe.
So in also in like the future, what should the future bring to you? A driverless car or what?
I don't know.
Would
I
you
don't
drive,
know.
would you ride a car like that?
Sure, would, it was proved and it was safe, why not?
Would you have an implant that will give you some restorative sight?
You know, I don't know about that.
You don't
That's
trust it?
I don't know. They're doing a lot of research onto, for retina, for that. And like, he thinks himself that, maybe if it would be too much at, in your mid-70s to suddenly see. After not going through so many years of not seeing, so many decades, it might be really hard. It might be a real life,
So you
Yeah, used to.
made use of whatever
Yeah.
vision you have, and then you made peace with it.
Yes, you get used to it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, there is a question, Susan.
Mhm.
Hi, Susan. My name is Zara. What is the most difficult everyday task for you?
Reading. Reading, because I have to always take out my reading glasses to read. All the time. It's a frustration because every time if I want to read something, I cannot read with these glasses. I have to put the other reading glasses on to read.
Which have a bubble and
A
that
bubble.
comes off when you go to do what? Another task that you
Oh,
like.
yeah, when I'm cooking.
Baking.
Yeah, baking.
What did
it's
we
not-
do together, Susan?
Yeah, it's not good for the oven. No, it's not good for the oven.
So Susan
No, neither any of our glasses are
took
not good for the oven.
culinary classes at George Brown.
Right.
How was that, Susan?
Fun, but hard work and but it's hard because you got to work with the ovens.
What was the most that you wanted? What did you seek to get from the culinary school? What did you not?
Good everyday cooking or just to being able to be a good cook. That's what I wanted to be. Not
You
to
gave
work.
me a lot of stress, I was her accompanying in one.
I
of the
asked her to
sessions.
be, may help me in my classes, because at that point in my career, you could have a helper. And so I asked Dorina to do the baking classes.
And then we had to do a strawberry pie. So she had to chop strawberries, and that made me go like so sick, because when I saw her with that big knife, I thought she was gonna chop her
I
knife
never caught myself ever.
herself. But I can tell you, I was in charge of that, and then I was, holy smokes. But she did a good job, and more so. So what was the most difficult in baking, in culinary school?
I think the chopping, cutting, a lot of cutting, and just generally seeing what the guy was doing up front. And then, it's hard. You gotta look at them, you gotta look at their technique.
So what would you suggest an optician to learn and know when it comes to low vision?
To be practical, when you see somebody with low vision and they want to buy like a pair of glasses that are way out of range for their prescription, like a plus, what's mine right now? One
So now
eye,
you're
plus 7.7. It's new now.
regularly, I made you plus 10.
No, now it's not plus 10.
Now it's
Plus
less.
8.25 in my right eye and plus 7 in my left eye. So find a pair of frames that suit those magnifications. And that is not a large pair of they have to be smaller, they have to be really round, maybe cat eye, right? Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that would help.
Sorry, Susan,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring somebody else inside.
Susan, do you enjoy audiobooks?
I do.
You do.
But I can't, I really, now I don't want, I'm too tired I like large print. I like to read. I like to read. Maybe I would read along with them sometimes on the easy reader that the CNIB has. They show them in large print too.
Yes.
They can read along with it. I like to do that. So I like to see the printed word, but, I like audiobooks, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Definitely.
So student David is here, he's also from the Vision Institute.
Hi, David.
And
Should I talk to them about one other thing before I go? Should I tell them about the architect?
of
Glasses?
course, of
I think I
course.
should show
So
that.
Susan brought a few props for us to see. And
Give me a second. So this is my architect glasses. They are here. Doreen probably hasn't even seen these. There they are.
So you have
I have a couple of things I tried for those, but these you can walk around with, Dorina.
but do they stay on you?
Yes.
They stay on
Yeah,
properly
I'll put
because
them on, yeah.
because you have a
No, I'll put them
string
on.
at the back.
No, I'll put them on. Just give me a second.
I'll keep your
Yeah.
glasses on
Hold those.
my hand. Just a second.
Okay, so now I put them on. I gotta focus on something to bring it in. Focus on somebody here. Yeah. You're wearing nice glasses.
So,
There they are, and they can see at this point, when I put these on, I can see 20/40. Yeah. 20/40 at a distance, not up close.
so you can go to opera with this.
Yeah,
and,
Yeah,
watch
and I can
a
watch
show.
TV. I can do, you can walk around with these on. I don't walk
Are they
around.
Eschenbach or where did you
No,
get
from
them?
Occutech in North Carolina. I don't know
North
what.
Carolina,
Yeah, I don't know if they're Eschenbach. I don't know. They might, yes, they might be.
they are.
I think they are, yeah. They are, and you walk around with them, you can go around, like if you're sightseeing, say if you were on a tour and you were walking around, you could wear these all day, and.
So what's the difficult part of having this? Are they too
People think that they look funny and they don't wanna look at you like that.
so
Oh,
they
I
start
think,
questioning?
no, but I'm thinking in, like, if you went to church with them on, the priest might think, well, what she got over her head, who knows? I don't know what, I never did it.
People might think you recorded them.
Yeah, they might, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's a fear.
It's a fear, yeah. But you can, the guy that sold them to me said that they're good for grocery shopping. He might be right.
And do you use them?
I haven't used them that way. I'm not really. Don't ask me why. I have no reason to say, but I've only used them at the theater, but I should try to start to use them more regularly.
So Susan, do you shop in usually in the same places?
Yeah.
Because you know where things are?
Yeah. But these here is my regular, these are +8, these are my vision.
Yes, yes.
These here, this right now is my regular walking glasses.
And then if you wish to read, you need to take them off and
Yeah,
read
take
with
them-
something else.
Yeah, reading is the biggest frustration because you have to use that, the magnifier.
Yeah.
You have to
It's
use,
with me.
but they have built, I'm gonna show them one more thing before I go. Cause they need to know this.
Yeah,
This is from, well, I don't know where it's from, Eschenbach probably.
yeah, this is the very expensive reader, which is diffractive lens.
It's not, yeah, it's not that you could show them around.
And so you get about 24 diopters there or something in that, right?
What, this one
In
here?
the reader. In
I
the
don't-
reader, yes. Maybe we should put it in the lensometer.
You could do that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know,
yeah.
but I have.
Question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, can you wear that going up and down stairs?
You can,
Yes.
yes, but it's a good question. You have to get used to it, but I have gotten used to it. You can. You just have to make sure that you lift your eye. It's a kind of a technique. Your eye has to lift up to look through the microscope. And when you get that, and I was worried because these were $3,200. And I said to him, well, he says, I know you're gonna do it right away, and which I did. Cause he said you had so many reading glasses and moving
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
That I was able to learn to push my eye up and down when I needed to.
So
And-
so
yes, go.
Can you drive it those?
Yes, you can. Not these, cause I'm 5. These are 5. There's 4, 5, and 6. Now, in the United States, and even up in Barrie, Ontario, I've been told that they have a driver's license in Ontario that's been approved. That's been approved for driving with these, but you have to be 4. These are 5, so I cannot drive. Yeah. 5 is, closer.
But you don't have peripheral vision, and that is, not so good for driving.
No, I could drive with these if I could have used the 4.
I see,
I could have, oh yes. I
think
didn't, I can't use the 4, it didn't suit me,
Let's go slow.
didn't suit me, I couldn't,
You wouldn't, because it's a skill you needed to learn.
No, and I couldn't see the Snellen chart. I
Ah.
couldn't read the numbers with the 4
Right.
as easily. It was too out of range. I couldn't make it.
So in terms of,
You wanna pass this around?
yes, yes,
Could do that.
so careful, eh?
Okay, here's the-
3,800 kind of.
That would, yeah, so I was,
Years tuition.
I was lucky to get those, Dorina.
I think you were lucky to
Yeah.
get those,
Yeah.
because there are very few that get with the business, in my practice there. Alongside with you, there were others that could not understand or keep balance with all those devices, they were either too heavy, or they were impeding the hearing, or they were impeding other senses, so they could not take it. Very few, for example, one of another very successful candidate for a device was somebody that was this achromat, like had no color vision, so it was like a bat vision. So that person, being young, capable, and with all the senses in right, except for the color vision, could actually use telescope, could actually use visual equipment with success. But people that had other impairments did not work well with devices, So I'm actually congratulating you because you could. Some people could not. They had to have some technology savviness, like use the telephone. The telephone has a lot of built-in heavy duty low vision aids. You can enlarge, you can print, you can take photographs. That was it's at your pocket, but some people cannot even use the telephone to the extent to help themselves. So you did well.
Thank
Yeah. Yes.
I just have a question about the other glasses we're passing out. How come one is fogged?
So it's for the nystagmus to actually localize one good vision in one eye, right? Like one eye is blocked and the other one sees the best it could see.
Your eye can apparently, when you're looking
It's a
up.
good observation. It was a fog lens, yes.
Your brain can only function on one eye supposedly.
Yes.
They-
The movement, uncontrolled movement of the eye is called nystagmus, breaks the image into a number of images, and then you will have a focal point or an image impression. Any more questions? Any more questions? Come on, people. I told you, you're gonna ask questions to relate to, yes,
I know if, lens with this, or like, does any?
say that again, sorry.
Sync or coding?
Yes, that's a very good one. I wanted to ask you that, Susan. Do you like lenses that filter the light in any way? In the past, I used to make you tinted pink
No,
or yellow.
I like no,
But now not at all, right?
not at all. I want
So
to
you
see the
want
best.
all the light there is.
They're all the light there is. No, I don't wear sunglasses, don't wear tinted things, nothing. No, I just wear the brightest that I can get. Like, see.
So no advanced
No.
treatments would help bring images better. So the clearest, that's the most desired. Do you have problems in the dark, Susan?
No problems in the dark.
No,
No,
as opposed to clear light.
no,
So you resolve images as they are
yeah,
in semi.
Yeah, I
Okay,
do, yeah. Yeah, I do.
and do you still ride a bike?
Yeah, I do, but we're at the gym, not on the street. I'm not fit enough, I would like to, but no,
But with a tandem you could, right?
good, yeah,
You did it before.
I did.
You stopped?
stopped.
That's the same question to David, right? You stop, David?
I'm gonna try to get you to write.
No.
I can still do it.
Yes,
Do
the
you still
question?
ride tandem?
Yeah, I got one.
Maxie, I just wanted to know, what advice would you give to someone in the early stages? of
Oh, okay, I just, it's Susan.
One more time, Alexis.
What kind of advice would you give to someone in the early stages of this diagnosis?
Maybe a learning advice with people, for people with nystagmus. It's a learning curve for everybody. I think it develops in a way and never stops. And I think everybody should make their own way. I don't think there is a good answer because it's a neurological situation. It never stops.
Any day, like every day with routine advice?
Devices,
Yeah,
would
the
say,
tools.
right, Susan?
Yeah. This was a really good tool that we was here.
Yeah. And also the reader.
I don't think doctors really know a lot about nystagmus. They do know, I mean, they do know some things about it, but I don't think it's an ongoing study. Really. Like I didn't know that as you got older that I looked, it can happen that when you get older, you don't have it as badly. I didn't know that till recently, actually.
You remember yourself having an eye patch when you were a child?
Yes.
You
Oh,
did, eh?
Yeah. Well, like after eye operations, I would have that.
Right, but in order to have one eye focusing better, did you have an eye patch just like for that?
No.
No, eh?
No.
I see. Because that is a yes.
I'm coming from here. What I made on the OS in reverse.
You need to repeat.
What does it make on the OS in reverse?
So do you refer to the reading glass? So the reading glass has a lens that is fogged, meaning it's a patch, right? So the purpose of the patch in Susan's case is to actually have one eye working better because of the nystagmus. So she has a situation called nystagmus, meaning the eyes are trembling in a horizontal movement and vertical movement. And then the image is not focusing at all. It always gets double vision. So one eye is patched. And my question was, were you using this technique as a child to have one eye patch, to force one eye to work independently?
No.
She says only when she had an operation, just for the purpose of healing the eye. So that's the point of the matting, fogging of one lens here. And also the point of the reader is, you saw there's only in one eye, that there's a 24 prescription here. And then the other is just a carrier lens, because she can only focus at one time with one eye. Okay. And then that's the eye that can resolve better images. So it's determined that that eye is the left eye instead of the right is the one that resolves better images than the other. Okay. Yes.
So like on the reader glasses, like on the left lens, like I see some rings like on,
Yes. It's called diffractive lens.
so like that's like for myopic management or.
No, it's in fact a phakic lens, and then actually boosting the power of the lens by the power of diffraction, which you're gonna learn more about prisms, and it adds power. So she has a magnification of about 24 diopters in this thin lens. Those are similar, right? Okay. So, what do you think? What is life in other perspective? So what is your last bake? What was the last thing you baked?
Recently?
Yeah, and you didn't bring me anything.
I made a frittata
Frittata.
and yeah,
So, Susan and I, going to the culinary school, we would have all this kind of cookies and pies and at the end of the day, and then she said, take them home, but I didn't have who to take them because everybody was careful with their diet.
Yeah.
And so she ended up eating a lot of pie.
Not really.
No, you gave them away.
I gave them away.
So the turkey came out okay last time?
Yeah, I think so. Sure it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure it did. Well, I can only say thank you very much for sharing with us all this amazing life experience. And if you wish to say anything to conclude your visit here, to our future opticians, to
Enjoy your careers. Good luck.
All right.
The world.
All right. So next here is David Brown.
Thank you
So-
for bringing all of those for us to see.
So David
Thank you.
is a person that a lot of people should get inspired by because he's an athlete. And his story begins how, David? Welcome to the class. Can you tell us how your story began?
I guess in terms of my eyesight, right?
Yes, of course.
Not when I was born and my mom and dad. And what.
No, no. Sure, you have a good story there.
Let's keep the story short.
Maybe
right?
you can tell us how the beauty of that farm, if you want to say that, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, I grew up on a farm and I was an only kid, so I had to do a bunch of work on the farm. I had normal vision. I got glasses because I wasn't seeing the board quite clearly enough, but they weren't very strong when I was, I think, grade 7 or 8. And the only thing I really noticed significantly was there was more stars in the sky because when you live on a farm, it's not a lot of lights, so I could see a lot more stars once I got my glasses in grade 8. And then in grade 11, I had an accident and a soldering iron exploded and I got shrapnel in both eyes, mostly in the left eye. And so then my vision went from like 20/80 correctable to best corrected about 2400. So had to do a lot of adaptations, changes. The first thing after a bunch of eye surgeries I got was a closed circuit television system. Have you talked about those?
Well, that's think of the past a little bit because it's very hard to get that around the CCTV, you know, like it's a thing of the past. Because not everybody-
Some of the stuff you can do with your iPhone.
Yes, it's the
iPhones are-
phone that does
iPhones-
it now.
iPhones do a lot of the stuff, but I used a closed circuit TV system because I just had a camera pointing at your book or paper and it could come up on this big screen, black and white TV right there. So I used that through the last bit of high school and university. And then I got some reading glasses that were fairly strong.
You brought them? Oh my gosh,
I don't remember how strong. We've got the expert here.
we got the experts here.
Glasses.
Oh, you two had the working eye prescription.
I progressed through a bunch of eye things along the way.
So this is a biconvex kind of reading lens. I'll help you later.
Just put it back in there. Right, so that's like a reading glass.
Yeah,
right?
that's a reading glass.
So it's how strong?
Well, we don't know, we need to put it in the machine yet, so we'll let you know by the end of their visit.
Sure.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, you can, I don't think you have range there, go
on the other
Yeah. Yeah. So David, when after the surgery, the left eye was not much salvageable, right? So you were left with the right eye to have whatever reminiscent vision to be utilized
Yeah.
for the rest of the time, right?
After a lot of retina patch-up surgeries,
She also had a buckle,
scleral buckle,
because you had a retinal detachment there.
yes.
Oh, okay, you guys need to read the buckle, scleral buckle, and the reason for that is to keep the retina attached. So then the crystalline lens was also removed, or you had a,
They decided to remove the lens because with trauma, you get cataracts with
so you
trauma.
got traumatic cataract?
Yeah.
I see,
So they
you got
decided,
traumatic cataract,
and they operated in from the cornea to the retina.
right, right. But that was not salvageable with an implant, right?
There was no lens implants
At the time.
back in the early eighties.
And then, so they just took the cataract completely out with a capsule with everything.
Yeah, and then I had strong cataract glasses.
So you had the replacement of the crystalline into that lens, so you probably had upwards of 20 something prescription. And how was,
You did one of those.
yes,
Back in the day.
yes. And so in terms of light and light filtering, did you prefer any UV filtering type of lenses? I remember me making transition lenses for you, so that was later.
Yeah, that's just eye protection from the sun.
But they were turning dark as you would go in the sun.
Yeah.
So was that of any help to you or not?
Help prevent you from sneezing in bright light. You know,
Right,
it's typical if you're a very freckled type person.
right. So if your accident wouldn't happen, what would be your profession?
Good question. I changed along the way through high school from maybe architecture, maybe veterinarian.
And this accident caused you to become an IT professional?
Yeah, that seemed to be,
How did you do that?
you know, there was something called the Strong Campbell Interest Inventory. I didn't know what to do, so I was good at math, and they said, oh, so if you're good at math and you like math and science, then maybe computers would be a good thing.
And did you adopt that just like easy? And you're still at it?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Now you have to tell us something very exciting because with one eye and one eye losing the sight progressively, you did some amazing things.
Well, just a second before you get ahead. So one of my eye surgeons recommended probably kind of dusty and dirty.
Yeah, you have a
She
telescope.
likes to have the glasses clean for some reason.
Yeah, when you
Doesn't
see
much-
the optician, you need to have them clean, right?
Yes, that's your job. That's your job.
Um,
So the surgeon gave me those, so you can explain.
Similar to yours, Susan, I'm just gonna come and show you.
Yeah.
Except not adjustable as yours. It was just fixed.
Oh, yeah.
Something like
He's got both eyes too.
yeah, something like
Mine are different, a little bit.
dentists and surgeons use a little magnifier attached onto the lens. And were they helpful?
Oh, yeah.
For what task?
Seeing the scoreboard at the hockey game.
So it's a telescope for you, right?
Yeah, but the problem is with the magnification. Could you tell by looking through it how much magnification there was there?
Well, the higher the magnification, the smaller the field of view.
That's the problem. It's so high of power that
You needed to move your
I can't
hand
see.
in an extensive movement.
I can't see much more than one score at a time on the scoreboard. Kind
I
of thing,
know.
you know,
So
so,
whatever is over 10 gives you that.
right, so it was useless for walking around. But it had the regular lenses in the bottom, so you just have to learn not to look up when you're walking around. But then when you're sitting down and trying to focus on something like a scoreboard or the theater stage or whatever, you could focus in on one little area.
So it had some use. Did it take you some difficult time to get used to or?
Yeah, it was not easy to figure out exactly where to focus in, but like I said, it's such a high power magnification and it's such a small area that if things had to be at a reasonable distance of 20 meters probably and beyond, they really get anything useful.
So in your quest of salvaging your vision, you visited a number of specialists, including opticians, but you were more at the doors of ophthalmologists that actually did a lot of surgery on your eyes. What do you think they should understand? I'm gonna suggest that they should understand the sight better, but do you have a different idea?
The main thing to understand is that everybody is unique. So everybody is slightly different. Everybody knows their DNA is unique. So that DNA translates to your eyes. So everybody is different. And when you get down to really low vision, every last bit is more and more valuable. So sometimes the surgeons didn't quite realize that even having light perception, you know, to know if the lights are on or off, even that very little thing is valuable. You know, it's useful. So sometimes the surgery statistics were maybe 50-50 at best case. Sometimes having a 50-50 surgery to save vision as compared to guaranteed having it go down to none, no brainer, right? Sometimes the surgeons didn't quite understand that salvaging any vision is better than none.
So when I first met you, you had you stressed so much that you need the frames to last and be strong, and so I ordered for him memory metal type of frames,
Number 3,
and I got 3 at the same time, and then David still managed to mangle them, no problem.
well, after a few years of every couple of months coming in, you soldered my frames because they always broke at the corner when you hit when I flipped the corner going around the corner a little too fast.
He found the place where they're not memory metals, you know, like the part where there is no memory metal.
This is now memory metal,
No, but
right? So you hit something and it bounces back. So memory metal, she never had to solder these.
I never had to solder those, that's true.
The only set of glasses that lasted more than 2 years. And most vision programs don't let you get glasses more than every 2 or 3 years, so.
So, so we did well.
Yeah, it took a while to get down to this solution then.
But now this brings us to the first thing I learned.
But then you wanted me to wear the more fashionable.
Yes. So this brings us to the point where you said, well, I'm going skiing. I said, what the heck are you doing? How are you gonna go skiing? So can you please tell us how you go skiing?
With a guide
And
oh, put my hand on sleep. And on the back.
racing,
Yes.
Ontario Disabled Alpine Racing Team.
So I raced for the Ontario team for more than a decade.
Where did you ski? You
Everywhere.
everywhere.
From Newfoundland, Corner Brook, Newfoundland to Vancouver Island. I've skied in Austria as well. So of
So you
course,
didn't know
the Rockies.
the course, right?
no, the course changes all the time. And I did all disciplines at the beginning when does the class know anything about disabled sports vision classifications?
No, not yet.
So B1 is no vision up to light perception. Currently, that's where I'm in. B2 is light perception, ability to count fingers at any distance up to 2400 or 5 degrees of vision, I believe it is. And then B3 is 5 degrees to 10 degrees of vision or up to 2,200 after correction, best case scenario. Those are the three international blind standard categories for sport.
So you are B1 now.
B1, yeah. I did ski racing when I was B2, so I could see the guides if they wore black pants against the snow, but they couldn't wear black jackets. I had to get a construction vest because in a lot of places, there's shadows from trees on the side of the course. So following black pants worked fine until you went through a part where there was shadows, and for downhill, you're traveling. I think we
60, 70 kilometers an hour.
60 to 80 for me.
You did that much?
Yeah.
That's a very skillful skier.
Yeah, well, also
Well,
crazy.
Also crazy. You were tethered with the.
No
with
tether,
that-
no
No?
Nope, just following voice and sound.
So he had constantly had to make a sound.
Yep, we had for the downhill races, we had a speaker, a portable speaker, megaphone in the fanny pack.
So you had to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And also have core muscles to keep you on the skis, right?
Oh, yeah. Only broke one arm once. I
Oh, okay.
crashed in the downhill. So,
Okay.
but then at the end, when the vision was getting down, more in the 600 or worse kind of scenario, I started doing the more technical slalom and giant slalom events, less speed, little less danger. So, but once again, still had to be really accurate on listening and following.
So you have a
Because
very
the
active.
ski poles are only, well, the downhill ones are about 1.5 to 2 inches diameter, but the slalom ones are only about the size of your thumb, maybe 3/4 of an inch in diameter, so you can't see them if you got low vision. So you just have to follow the person that you're skiing in front.
So now you have to stay with hockey only because you are.
Still ski, but recreation.
Why don't you cross country ski?
That's too much like work. That's what lifts are for.
Okay,
I can cross country ski, but I choose to do dating. It's more fun.
all right, so then you did yachting.
Yeah.
Blind sailing,
Yes, I know.
so did you bring the medal?
Brought a couple of those as well.
I'll take this. This is Philip there.
You've still got 2 more.
Any questions, you guys? Have your questions prepared, please, for the situation here. We had cataract because of trauma, right? Traumatic cataract. And now the stage of B1, like blindness level 1. So this is also yours.
1, 2.
And then this will be put in the case.
Okay.
So before you go, you need to teach us what is the proper way to escort you. You know, like in
Yeah, swallow
CIV.
through some chairs like we're doing slalom skiing.
yeah. The silver medal.
I think that's sailing.
This is sailing. So did you find them easily with the AI? How did you find them?
I used my Seeing AI app.
Which is,
I'll show you in 2 seconds. This is another sailing one, so I don't know. And
you still know them, so you know them by touch?
Yeah,
I
because I
see.
put them in 3 different containers.
Uh-huh. Let me hold the hat.
This goes in nicely. Put everything back where you know where it is, or else you can't find it.
Where was this sailing?
I think
It was in what waters? By Japan? I think
you
some.
can read on the back of the.
Oh my gosh,
I-
flying or sailing.
She's asking the blind guy to do it.
Sheboyang, so that's Japan, right?
Huh?
Sheboyang, Sheboyang.
You haven't been to
I have not.
Wisconsin, obviously.
Anyway,
It's Lake Michigan.
yeah, that's cool.
Canadian National, My Hockey Tour A, March 20th, 22, 2026, 2341, Instant Athletic Center, Canadian National, My Hockey Tour A, March 20th, 22.
It's a little fast, but it helps after like 30 years.
CA Online Hockey, Open Division 150, Lunch Hour,
Braille. You know how to read Braille?
Kind of. Not well though, slow.
Susan, do you read Braille?
I read Braille, yes.
Landscape.
I don't use it anymore, but before I got the reading glasses, I did read
You
Braille.
want to read the front of the medal? I think they only
Oh,
have,
God, now that's really,
they only have like 2020. Well, she asked me to tell her which button the medal was, so she's she's making us work.
I don't have feeling of that to read it right now. I just, now, my husband quizzes me on.
Canadian Blind Hockey Open Division.
That's Matt.
Yeah, he does.
He's a pro at Braille.
Yeah, he quizzes me and I know the contractions, yes. I haven't forgotten them, but I don't use it every day. No, I don't use it.
Neither do I.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, congratulations. So the gold one is in hockey, right?
Yeah.
So hold on, they are looking at.
Oh, you're passing around.
He went to Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yes,
That's the feat.
he just did that. Where was your, what were you thinking when you got at 4,000 altitude? Did you lose all your air?
4,000, it was 5,900.
I know, but by
You're
then.
underestimating my efforts.
That's where I am without air. So David conquered Kilimanjaro last fall.
That would have been fun.
So that's,
Read.
Mount Kili, I did it with my eyes closed. Brave blind mountaineers of Kilimanjaro 2025.
Wait,
You can hold it up. That's the front. Did you read the back?
I'm gonna read, what's your next?
Hold it up.
Sure. First of all, you came to my class, that's an adventure.
Always.
Oh, thank you. So how was the air up in did you make ice cream from the snow of Kilimanjaro?
No, but we did have snow when we came down from the top. So, we had snow the last night.
What is the worst part there? Is it the last few hundreds of meters to the summit?
The last day climbs, well, the last day is hard because we got up before dawn and had breakfast to leave at dawn, and it was basically 8 hours, 1,600 meters vertical, and about 4 kilometers long. So fairly steep to get up to the top. This is after 6 days and 40 kilometers to get to the base camp before the summit. So it's a long haul over a lot of rocks. So somebody said, how do you describe the term? The climb up Kilimanjaro? Exhausting. Not fun, not fun, challenging and exhausting, just because the terrain was tough. And we had hiking poles, which are a little more sturdy than a blind white cane. And my white cane's well used.
Yes, it's well used.
I use it a lot.
It's basically very well
Not
used.
always the best.
What happened? Tell us. Okay, so that's the thing. You cross the street, just cross the street.
Yes. Apparently at Don Mills and Finch, there's a median, which I already knew there was a median between the north and southbound lanes. But if I can't feel, there's a little subtle crack between the concrete crosswalk and the asphalt drive part. And it was a bit wet that day and my cane wasn't feeling the crack that well. So I steered away from traffic so I don't veer out into oncoming traffic by about a couple of feet. My cane hit the median. I said, okay, I know that. Instead of tripping on it or falling down, I lifted my foot and there was a sign on that median post on that median. So I got a little scar there.
I can see.
Yes. Occupational hazard when you can't see some of things. And just, normally the cane would have swept and caught it, but because the cane hit the curb first, it didn't complete its sweep. Just when multiple things go wrong at the same time. But
So
that's, it's no
can you
broken-
make
no-
a demonstration of walking here with your stick for us to understand how the stick is used?
Sure.
At least 5 steps. You have no idea what's in here, right?
Fun things. But people are really quiet. If you want, if the one advice, if you don't want to get hit, you make noise. If you sit really quiet, for people, people avoid, if you're coming down the sidewalk, you step off to the side and then they go really quiet, right? So it's better if you actually make some noise, you know, or say hello, simply simple, right?
Thank you.
So,
coming. Thank
you know,
you so much, Lorena.
I'm not fast at using it.